When you're in love and you're ready to take that next step in your relationship and move in with each other, it sounds so romantic and sweet, but the realistic part of it is that you have a lot of stuff to go through. So Jennifer Phelps is here today to make sure that we go through the move in more of like an organized fashion.
Right, exactly. So when your puppy love turns real, whether you're moving in or getting married or whatever you're doing, and you decide you're going to do Playhouse now.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah. You know, it's Valentine's month, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to not even talk about blended families. I'm talking about couples.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume that you've spent time together and you've had conversations about strange habits, expectations, and money.
Okay.
I'm going to assume you've had those conversations.
So we're already there.
You're there,
Okay.
right. So what do? Well, first things first is you really want to purge.
Okay.
You want to purge everything. Guarantee you're going to have twice as much stuff as you think. So whether you're starting from scratch together or one person's moving in, blending entire households, like us mature people moving in, you want to plan ahead. So there are awesome programs. One, you purge, and two, you can do by hand floor plan.
Okay.
You know, tape measure and online, or you can do an online one where you plug in your information. Also, there is an app called Magic Plan, which I've downloaded, and you can actually measure your walls.
Magic Plan? Okay.
There's others, but that's the one I've downloaded, and you can approximate your furniture to make sure your space fits. So that's what's going to be really important. And again, make sure you purge, and plan your space and make room for someone who's moving in for you.
Yeah, because that can be kind of the hard part, is you have to remember not all of your stuff is going to fit in with their stuff. So let's take this moment to get rid of something.
Which brings us to, how do you blend those things once you've started to get together, once you've started moving things in. First of all, the things that's super important is you're going to have to compare your non-negotiables and your deal breakers. Everything from heirlooms to yard gnomes. Really, you're going to have to compare. And you really need to respect and love each other at this point, because things are sentimental and have value to people, whether or not they have value to you.
Right.
So you also realize once you've purged, you're still probably going to have to let go of more things.
Yes.
Right. So sometimes it's just practical in space, and a lot of times it's emotional and sentimental. So you really want to be aware in that.
I also think it's a little bit of taste. Like, you might think this is an amazing picture to hang on the wall, but maybe the other person not so much. not
Do you know,
so
this
much.
was my grandpa's yard gnome. It's been in our family since forever, and I want it on the mantelpiece. Again, this is the negotiation phase.
Yes.
Okay, it's negotiation. If you make it through this, you're in good shape.
So we're at purge, negotiating.
That's right.
And then what would be our next logical place to go?
Well, you're going to have to think about personalities.
Okay.
Right, so the little joke here, Mr. Right and Mrs. Always Right, right, that's sort of a joke. And then also the idea that, for example, that she's going to take the closet and he's only going to get part. That's not actually the case in our house. So what you have to do is think about maybe divvying things up by who hates it the least.
Yes.
Right? There are actually, and what I forgot to mention, there are online checklists for moving in together. There's online programs for dividing tasks and chores with your spouse, which is really great because you can make it objective and not just subjective and all about feelings, right? So who's going to cook, who's going to clean, and who's going to do dishes, and all of those things are important things. So there are ways to help do that. Always, 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 it comes down to communication being the most important thing, loving and respecting each other more than anything else that happens in the house. That has to be the core. And if you want to think about having a counselor at this point in time, this is an awesome time to do that, because remember, the second you add pets, the cat and who's going to clean the litter box, and then kids, you have a whole other conversation. So practice with this, because no matter what happens with life, you're going to have more things coming at you. And so you have to decide that each other is more important than the stuff. And that practical decisions are often overshadowed by sentiment.
Well, we have to remember that moving in and then the subsequent living together, you learn so much about your partner that you never knew before. And you don't want to start out this new chapter of your life starting with an argument.
Exactly.
So if you kind of go through it
That's
with
right.
a logical, organized manner like
That's
you have
right.
set forward. This is going to set you up for success.
Absolutely. And again, there are people who help specifically with blended families, and there are people who help couples doing this exact same thing. And again, like I said, even online, if you can make a checklist and say, we're going to agree, we like this checklist, and we agree to do this together, then it's not he said, she
Right.
said, he said, he said, she said,
Right.
she's, whichever your combination is.
Right. And you know what? I kind of feel like we did a Jennifer Phelps organizing / relationship segment here. So we've covered all of it.
And that is what it is.
That is.
And happy Valentine's Day. It's the month of love.
Love, keep it that way. Make sure, like you said, use these resources because they'll help in
That's right.
making it smooth and it doesn't start off on the wrong foot.
You would never know someone as well as when you move in,
Yeah.
even if you have spent time in each other's homes.
And even if you don't call a relationship expert, call Jennifer because she'll help out.
That's right.
'Cause for even more great tips, just visit jenniferphelps.org or TucsonProfessionalOrganizers.org as well.